Here's the honest truth. If you're watching this, chances are you've set goals before. Maybe you wrote them down. Maybe you told yourself, this year, I'll get my life together. And maybe, just maybe, you even made some progress. But then what? Somewhere along the way, you lost momentum. Life got busy. You got distracted. Maybe it was 2 weeks in, maybe 2 months, but eventually things slipped. And you found yourself right back where you started. And now, here you are, probably thinking about setting goals again. Sounds familiar? I'm not here to sugarcoat things. You don't need another motivational speech. You need the truth. And the truth is, goals don't change your life. Presence does. People love setting goals because it makes them feel in control. Writing down, I want to be successful feels like progress, but that's just an illusion. The problem with goals? They keep you focused on a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet instead of making you step fully into the version of yourself right now, the only one who can actually make things happen. And that's why people get stuck. They either live in the past, regretting, replaying, wishing they had done things differently, or they live in the future constantly planning, waiting for the right time, convincing themselves that once they feel ready, once things slow down, then they'll start. Except they don't, because that version of the future never comes. Think about the times you actually made progress. Not when you planned to do something, not when you thought about doing it, but when you actually sat down, focused, and just did it. No distractions, no waiting, just action. And because of that, things moved forward. And that's presence. It's not some abstract idea, it's simply engaging fully in what you're doing in the moment you're doing it. And when you learn how to do that, everything changes. You stop procrastinating, you stop getting lost in your head, you stop waiting for motivation, and instead, you just show up and do the work. Now I know what you're thinking, you are busy, and don't have time to be present all day. But let's be real. You had time to scroll your phone for hours this week. You had time to binge watch that show. You had time to overthink things instead of handling them. You don't lack time, you lack presence. The time is already there. You're just filling it with distractions instead of decisions, and if you don't believe me, try this. For one day, track your time. Write down everything you do. At the end of the day, look at how much time was actually spent on something that moved your life forward. If you're like most people, the answer is less than you'd expect. So how do you fix this? How do you shift from overthinking and waiting into actually doing? It's simple. You start small. Here are 3 ways to shift into presence and make your intentions real throughout the day. 1. The 5-second rule. The moment you think about doing something, act within 5 seconds. Whether it's getting out of bed, starting a workout, or responding to that email countdown from 5, and move. Your brain won't have time to talk you out of it. 2. Single task focus. Whatever you're doing, do only that. When eating, eat. When working, work. When having a conversation, actually listen. The less you multitask, the more engaged and productive you'll be. 3. Interrupt. When you catch yourself drifting into distractions such as scrolling, daydreaming, procrastinating, pause and ask yourself, is this getting me closer to what I want? If not, break the cycle immediately. That's how presence shifts everything. Because at the end of the day, this is simple. You can keep setting goals, making plans, telling yourself this time for real. Or you can stop waiting and just be here, doing now. Because it's not about goals. It's about intention. Intention is active. It's not what you hope will happen. It's what you decide to make happen in this moment. You don't need a fresh start. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to show up, focus, and take action. One moment at a time. So what's it going to be? Are you going to stay stuck, waiting for the perfect plan? Or are you finally going to step into the only place where real progress happens right now? That's your call.